How has your experience been with Transparent Labs so far?
Bro, this is the best pre-workout I've ever had, to be honest with you.
I try to tell you, shit's fire, huh?
I feel my whole body like 20 minutes after drinking it. I'm driving to the gym and I just feel my whole body just start heating up. And I get like these hot flashes, but they feel good. Like I'm like getting motivated to like just get in there. You know what I mean? And I feel it all fuzzy behind my neck. And then when I'm in there right now, like I feel like I'm going an extra, like I'll do like 5 workouts, right? And what, 4 sets going up in weight. And then I'm like, all right, I was just gonna do that. And then I'll do another workout and add another set of 4 to it. Like I'm just like super energized. I'm like, fuck me, just get in there and get it in again. You know what I mean? So, and I didn't feel like that on this other pre-workout that I was taking. But yeah, this has some stuff in it I don't even think I've ever had before, like citrulline, malat, and beta alanine. I have no idea what those are doing. All I know is that it said, yo, bulk. And I was like, that's what my plan is this whole fall and winter. I'm trying to bulk up. Too skinny.
Yeah, Transparent Labs is the only supplement company that provides protein powder that I've taken that doesn't like completely tear up my stomach. So that's why I introduced it to you, bro, because I'm very like particular with what goes in my body, and like I don't just be going to like GNC or whatever and just buying whatever top shelf like protein they have, because honestly a lot of that stuff's fake. So
I haven't been in GNC since like the early 2000s, bro. I get my stuff from either Sprouts or go and find it. You know what I mean? Because that's where I got Transparent Labs. And then I had tried it before, not even realizing the name of it. But then when you were telling me about it, I was like, man, I recognize that brand. I always see it at Sprouts. I just never paid any attention to it. And I'm glad you talked about it because, yeah. And you have to, if you're going to take this bulk, you have to have at least like a banana or something in your stomach, because you drink this pre-workout on an empty stomach, you're going to get nauseous. Just so.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm not taking their pre-workout supplement, but I definitely take their protein, just their normal protein, and I've been taking it for a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. It's been interesting. Plus my arm's still like probably broken, low
Your
key.
elbow?
Yeah, like I don't know what's going on with it, dude, but something's 100% wrong with it, but I'm not the kind of dude that's going to no doctor, so I'm just dealing with it, you know? Because what are they going to tell me? Same shit I probably already know. Like, honestly, it's probably a ligament. It's probably not bone related. I'm just exaggerating when I say it's broken, but something's definitely messed up. I benched like 265 pounds, and then after that day, it's just been completely distraught.
Yeah, you probably tore a ligament for sure.
But what are they going to tell me? They're going to tell me, rest it, ice it, splint it, or whatever. Don't use it, which are all things I'm not going to do.
You on that David Goggins level, bro. You on that
bro,
David Goggins. We keep going.
Yeah, Kevin kept trying to get me to stop working out at the mansion, and I was like, nah, bro. Like I was just lifting the plates with my bum ass arm all jacked up. Like, whatever. Still gonna get it in. I'm not gonna make excuses for myself. There's dudes out there that are missing limbs that are still working out. What the fuck do I look like not working out just because my arm hurts? Like, come on, dude. You know?
Yeah, no, that's real. That's mad real. Pain is pain too. Shit.
Yeah, sometimes it makes me feel alive in a weird way.
Man, I wonder if we kind of do that to ourselves sometimes too, unconsciously, because it does, like, it makes you feel alive for sure. So
yeah, dude, let's get into today's conversation. We got some really juicy stuff for you all. I'll hit it off with the intro real quick. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Wealth 28 Club Friday podcast. I'm your host, Snipverse, here with my co-host, Mr. Aquaman. As always, bringing you guys some of the realest information in the game. Today, we're going to be diving into a lot of industry-leading experts from large organizations, financial institutions, some of the biggest in the world, honestly. Diving into their insights, listening to panel discussions, showing you guys what they're talking about at recent events on stage that nobody is paying attention to for some odd reason, even though it's all the good, juicy information that people should be tapped into. These institutions know that they have lagged behind retail traders over the past consecutive couple of years, but that is about to cease to exist, where these institutions are discussing and talking about DeFi. They're discussing and talking about blockchain technology and integrating it into their core infrastructure. And more importantly, they're discussing and talking about how to utilize digital assets in such a way to start generating them passive income. And we're going to show you guys all of that in today's video breakdown, that DeFi is not something that you all should be ignoring. And instead, you should be paying attention to it heavily, if not already participating in it, definitely incorporating it in your thought process and your educational process as you progress in this crypto ecosystem. And yeah, just as always, insights from some of the most and biggest biggest and most industry leading experts in this space. Not giving you guys any hopium or hype price predictions or any of that bull crap that the rest of these retail trading communities fill your heads with. Really just trying to show you guys that you can use crypto to free yourself passively, to generate passive income. You don't need to start with hundreds of thousands of dollars. You could start with $5. You could start with $10. The bottom line is just learning how to be your own bank in this new financial system. Once we get to the end of this, if we have some time, I do want to go over one of the looping strategies that we partake in the private Cyprex community in the Metallicus ecosystem on Snipverse. So we'll get to that towards the end, showing you guys some live examples, going over the looping strategies, just showing you all how you can stake, claim rewards, put those rewards in farming pools, take the rewards from farming pools, and then re-loop them back into staking rewards and repeat the process. So we'll get into that into the end of today's video breakdown. But Aquaman, I don't know if you can see this print, but dude, do you want to kick it off here? Loan Protocol quoted, and I already know you probably know who they quoted here, but read this to the people and tell them where this quote came from Loan Protocol.
Stop working for money and start making money work for you. It's got to be Marshall Hayner.
Marshall Hayner.
It's got to be Marshall.
Yeah, this is such a great, very short, simple post that a lot of people, unfortunately, aren't paying attention to because they're so fixated on, when bull market cycle, when price appreciation, when in reality, you don't need some market cycle, bull or bear, to make money in crypto. If you understand the power that your assets that you hold in your portfolio actually have, and what protocols you can implement those assets on to start generating you passive income, understanding the risk, of course, and adhering to a more risk-averse strategy, it's possible, right? So stop working for money and start making money work for you. This is going to go hand in hand with our post today in this video breakdown. So coming over here, I said, no one is coming to save your finances, your future, or your freedom. It's on you to learn, to act, and to position yourself for the wealth and life that you want. Invest smart, preserve your capital, explore DeFi, and commit to self-improvement. Because at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to get you where you want to be. This goes hand in hand with both investing and what me and Aqua were just talking about a second ago, health and wellness. You could be the wealthiest person on the earth, but if your health is absolutely shot, what's the point of it? It's a package.
Yeah, I mean, and our community, we're all about self-improvement. Like, we're always giving each other gems from books that we read, and it's like our community, we're all about growth and growing. It's one of the best cultures I've ever been a part of, and I've been a part of a lot of different cultures, from Fortune 500 companies to the Cookies Cannabis Company, and man, our culture is hands down, again, the best culture, because it inspires you and it pushes you to grow in so many ways, because you got everybody in the community that are growing. So you have no choice but to grow.
Yeah, bro, it just motivates you. It motivates you when you're in a community that's not just focused on unrealistic, hypey bullcrap that never materializes and just leaves people empty and guessing. And it's honestly sad that stuff exists and that people gravitate towards that type of information. But at the end of the day, people like to escape from their reality, and those things, those hypey price predictions and unrealistic technical analysis targets and all this bullcrap that retail traders and investors throw in your face on the social media platforms, it feeds into that. It feeds into that mainstream distraction narrative of the Netflix. You watch Disney, you watch all this bullcrap in your spare time instead of focusing on what matters. And that's how to really make money in the now, how to really improve yourself in the now, improve not only your investment life, but your personal life, your physical fitness, your relationship with your kids, or your relationship with your significant other, and the relationship that you house with yourself. You know, not a lot of people are focused on that. You want to read this one, Aqua, bro? This was a good one too that feeds into today's conversation.
Let's see here. All right. So actions beat intention every time. You can read about investing, plan for wealth preservation, or think about diving into DeFi crypto for years. None of it matters until you move. Even small steps compound into massive results when repeated over time. Stop overthinking, start taking action. That's, bro, you coming off the dome with this, bro. Just like,
Yeah, bro. Sometimes I read my books, you know, when I read
yeah,
something in my books, I'm like, all right, let me enlighten the general populace
I
for a
feel
minute.
it. That's lit, bro.
But it's the truth, you know. If first off, you have to understand that, you know, these things take time. Um, and it doesn't matter how much knowledge, like you could see all these books in my background. You could go downstairs and look at my bookshelf. I have thousands of books, but none of them matter if I don't take the knowledge and implement it properly. I see a lot of these people, they say knowledge is power. And I agree with that to an extent, but it can go much further. Knowledge really is only power when implemented properly,
Yeah,
right?
no, that's facts. And a lot of people procrastinate and they put things off and they'll, oh, I'm going to do it. 2026 is my year. And like the rest of the fourth quarter of 2025 is just cooked for them instead of making moves now. Right. So I think that's powerful. None of this matters until you move. You got to take action, and you should take action immediately because life is so short too, So
Yeah, I like the ending of this too. Even small steps compound into massive results. I think that that's where we're at right now. That a lot of people in our community, in our private space, are really getting. And it's like, dude, you don't need to be millionaires like you and I to get this investing thing right. You don't need to have a seven-figure portfolio to start earning passive rewards or just start compounding, turning your 9 to 5 income. You know, let's say I use this example all the time, bro. Let's say you have a 9 to 5 job, you commute to work, and every single day that you commute to work, you stop to get a cup of coffee, maybe at a gas station or at a Starbucks. Why are you using the money that you make from your job to pay for that cup of coffee? That's usually what, four to $6 maybe for a medium-sized cup of coffee at Starbucks. DeFi could be buying you that cup of coffee right now. It's not about having a whole bunch of money. It's just about making your life more comfortable, right? Being
yeah.
able to afford things that you want in your life with the market's money. Um, and you can do that through small, consecutive, concise, persistent steps over a prolonged period of time. You could be making $6 a day in DeFi to send to your crypto.com card to go and buy your cup of coffee.
And that's so powerful in this day and age because every little bit counts. You know what I mean? So being able to do that, I mean, and then as well, there's the other the other mindset that's like, oh man, I got to pay for this this event and I don't got enough money, so I got to sell crypto. Not realizing that, like, yo, you could have borrowed against it, took a little mini loan out, paid for the the trip or whatever you're gonna do, and then you still had your assets. But like people are missing the whole point of these digital assets. They're so wrapped up in hodl, exit plan, exit plan, exit plan, not realizing, yo, you could have been making cash flow this entire time, paying for your Netflix, paying for whatever it is, your cup of coffee. Like, I encourage people. This DeFi stuff is so serious. It's not going anywhere. We how many, like, you know what I'm saying? How many things have we shared that is like proven that DeFi is here? It is the new financial rails, and it's beautiful because we can get so creative with our finances for the very first time ever.
Bro, you just said it right there. Creative finance. Like that's the era that we're headed into. Creative finance, where if you think it, honest to God, it can exist in your financial realm. Like the endless capabilities for you now, especially through tokenization of real world assets and like your ability to interact with traditional finance and DeFi at the same time, like money market funds, all these traditional investments that are rolling over to the blockchain with trusted institutions where it's just one click of a button and like a Benji Franklin Templeton app where you can tap into their money market funds with your your dollars, and instead of your dollars just sitting in your bank account doing nothing, I mean, you could tap into an institutional grade product right now and earn 4 or 5% yield, which is so much better than what most people are doing with their capital right now, which is nothing. And it just gives you that much more of an advantage because most people aren't earning that 4 to 5%. So if you are taking initiative and doing that, you're like 10,000 steps ahead of the most of people.
Yeah.
This post is so powerful, bro, because this is what really is going to allow us to fine tune what it is we want to show you guys today. Like Aqua said, we're always showing you guys proof that these institutions are for a fact about to onboard into this space at such a rapid pace and such a large scale. There's going to be two types of people heading into 2030 and beyond. So I said here, what many people overlook is that retail is currently ahead of institutions. We're going to prove that to you guys today from insights, again, from some of the largest industry leading experts in this space. Most large organizations are only just beginning to catch on to this new wave of technology and are slowly integrating it into their core systems. When regulatory clarity finally arrives, there will be two groups of people: those who position themselves before the banks and those who followed after. Right now, major institutions are learning the same lending, borrowing, and looping strategies that early DeFi participants have been using for years. If you still believe that they're not paying attention, then you're not listening to the real voices that shape this space. The window of opportunity for early movers is open, but it won't stay that way forever.
It will not. It will not. Let me ask you, are you going to share that DTCC video today as well? Okay.
100%.
All right. Perfect. All right.
110%. So to start off with the video logs, okay, because in the first portion of this post, I pretty much mentioned that large organizations are only just beginning to catch on to this new wave of technology and they're slowly starting to integrate it into their core systems, right? Well, let me show you guys that at recent events, some of the largest organizations in the game are literally saying that they're sitting in these boardroom meetings with these banks and these institutions, and they're just now starting to pick it up. Like, oh, okay, wow, this is cool technology and we can actually use it. And we're in 2025, y'all. So think about all the people that have been like, flip the switch. It's about to happen this year before 2025, but now we're in 2025. And at these recent events, this video, for example, just dropped 2 days ago. We're going to listen to this lady here, Sarah Grooms from Wintrust Financial Corporation. And she's pretty much going on to talk about how people still don't understand this technology in large organizations and banks, right? So that's going to then lead us into listening to a representative with so many credentials in the space, Sandy Quall, say retail's front running the banks. And this is just to, again, get you guys to see the opportunity here. Because after we play those clips, I want to show you all that not only are they saying they don't understand the technology yet, but that they're starting to, but now they're also starting to integrate and position themselves so that they can incorporate DeFi, looping strategies, lending and borrowing strategies, everything that we've been attempting to show you guys. All right. So listen to this lady here, Sarah Grooms. Then Aqua, if you have an opinion on what it is that these people say throughout this video log clip that I have,
Yeah.
just let me know. I'll see
got
your eyebrow raise and we'll chat it up. So listen to what this lady here, Sarah Grooms, says from Wintrust Financial Corporation. We're going to go to 7 minutes and 48 seconds. Shout out to Centrifuge and also shout out to the CyberX researchers for dropping all the new, brand new, fresh like panel discussions and summits that have taken place in the month of September. There's like over 1,000 videos in the CyberX Discord right now that all have less than like 100 views because it's the info that people just aren't paying attention to. So take a second here and listen to what she says.
A year ago, we were all thinking that none of this is legal, so we don't know what we can do. Now we have a framework in place.
Well,
Exactly
I
right.
think it's important too when you talk about, what should corporates be considering. The interesting thing to me a lot of times, and I think that everybody in this room, especially DeFi and wannabe degens like me, it's we care about the technology, right? And the majority doesn't. Consumers or corporates, they don't care. Is my money going to be safe, secure, move faster, move cheaper? What are my right? And so so that's where what I'm hearing so much of right now is like, well, this is just another rail, right? Because we just have to figure out how to integrate this. And so it's going to be really interesting. And there was some talk a couple of sessions ago about the need to still continue educating.
Yeah.
And it's shocking that even when you get into a room full of the people that are like in my role at other large financial institutions, they're like, I don't understand why I would have to use anything with tokenization. Why wouldn't I just? And I'm like, oh wow, we need a backup even for the people who now we need to go back to the banks and educate so that we can educate the customer. And so there's still a lot of.
Bro, she literally just said they're sitting in boardroom meetings with banks, and they're like
oblivious, because they're still they're normal human beings, but with the title of being tapped in with these banks, right? So that's how she's able to refer to them as banks. But at the end of the day, they're just, you know, normal human beings that are not tapped in, that need to learn this stuff. But what I liked the most is what I don't know that guy's name, the Asian guy. He had said, none of this is legal, but the way his tonality and how he said it was almost like we're all participating in this shit, but none of this is legal.
So this next guy right here, Nick Charney, he's from Janus Henderson Investors. So again, a large investment group sitting on stage with Centrifuge, and he reciprocates exactly what the lady just said, that these banks, these institutions that he's in these meetings with, they have no freaking idea. Now they're getting a grip, they're starting to understand, but they're still in the educational phase, which is why in the Wealth 28 Club community, we're like, y'all, go learn, because these institutions are, and once the regs are clear, they're not going to be just learning anymore, y'all. They are coming in full swing, because they know if they don't, they risk competitiveness, they risk lagging behind, and they're not about to do that. If Bank of America's over here earning 10%, 15% yield on their deposits and their assets under management and blah, 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 but then this bank B over here is not, they're donezo. They're gone. They're non-existent anymore. Within 10 years, they're donezo.
Facts. Yo, so, is her last name Illuminati?
Yeah, you know, I peeped that too. Bahi Illuminati. What an interesting character there. Yeah, she's the moderator. I don't know what position she plays at Centrifuge, but actually, I don't know. I've heard her speak before. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, interesting last name.
It's a dope last name. I ain't mad at it. Shit.
Yeah. She probably gets a lot of heat for it though. Probably 936, or people are intimidated by her maybe.
On tokenization and then empowering him to go to the board. Did he get it from day one?
No. And it started way earlier. I mean, I mentioned, it's probably 8 years literally of trying, and all sorts of different, I would say over the last 8 years, I had many interesting ideas in blockchain or crypto that we could do. And every one of them got to a point where I was sitting in a room, whether it's with our executive team, whether it's with our board, whether it's with investors, whatever it is, where at the end of the day, in that conversation, there's a whole bunch of people sitting in the room and they're saying to themselves, okay, Nick's pretty convincing. This sounds pretty smart. And we have absolutely no fucking idea what he's talking about. Right? Like, so at the end of the day, in order to take the next step, they're having to just make a bet on whether I know what I'm talking about. And I can be persuasive, but that's not enough, right? It's not like, you're never going to get there until there is a third of the room at least that has some idea of what's going on. And so it's building that over time. And Ali came in,
he's talking about his discussion and his conversation with these board meetings at these financial institutions. And he's like, yo, they don't have an idea of what's going on. He can be persuasive and tell them and convince them that this technology is amazing, but until they understand it, which right now there's still a massive gray area in terms of education, then there isn't about to be mass adoption. Now, that I want everybody to understand, that what I'm presenting to you is not saying the banks don't get it. They clearly do. They understand, right? They're getting it now. But what I'm trying to get you to see is my post saying that this window of opportunity of front running the institutions is closing, and it's closing freaking fast. What I'm trying to show you guys, though, is that it still exists. It exists in 2025. So think about that. All the previous market cycles where people were like, yo, alt season, mass institutional adoption, right? But here are institutions sitting on stage telling you guys in 2025 that they're in boardroom meetings and people in banks still don't get it, right?
They haven't had that aha moment yet, sounds like, bro.
I'd say that some of them have, some of them haven't, but it definitely is not all of them. Like, people are screaming at the top of their lungs. And so, like, again, This is why it's so important you understand these things, because it just shows you the opportunity that we have right now as retail investors, which is, for a fact, we are front running the banks. So don't take that from me. Take that from Sandy Qual, sitting at the Thai Out East Summit from just a month ago. So in 2025, she has credentials at the CFTC, the DTCC, which we're going to get into in just a second, the World Economic Forum, and she currently works at Franklin Templeton. And so listen to her say that retail pretty much knows more than the financial institutions right now, which is so powerful considering everything that me and Aqua have built in the Wealth 28 Club to try to show you guys how we are participating in DeFi right now to start to expand our wealth. And then we're going to show you guys that these institutions are now, for the first time, sitting on stage talking about the same things that we have been discussing for over 2 years now in the Wealth 28 Club, which is DeFi strategies, lending, borrowing, looping, rehypothecating our digital assets to loop them back into higher yielding rewards and whatnot. They're starting to talk about this. This is mind-blowing stuff. And again, all stuff that people should be tapped into, but most people aren't.
Be answering this question, but I will do my best to answer for you. Is I would argue that retail has beaten institutional to this space already. That retail already understands the crypto markets far better than any institutional players understand them at this point. And that the capabilities and the functionality that the institutional financial services markets are going to need to develop are all coming now from the retail side. The gamification, the social interaction, the inclusion of short form video as forms of instruction, the ability to take actions on one's own that equate to what institutional players can do today, the ability to transfer assets peer to peer. These are all activities that retail are used to, and they operate with day to day in their everyday life. It's our institutional industry and it's our institutional rails that have kept us from keeping up with that level of innovation.
We're going to agree that there are massive.
Go ahead, bro. What were you going to say?
No, nothing. Every single time I hear her say that, because it's not the first time I've heard this clip, I just think of the WebAuth wallet, bro. Like straight up, the web just brings WebAuth wallet and the WebAuth wallet capabilities. Name one wallet out there where we can send each other crypto without using what's our
public phrase,
right? There's not another wallet out there that does that. And to my knowledge, right? I don't know. Have you seen any of that?
I'm not going to sit here and say that there isn't one that exists, but not the one that I know about for sure.
Yeah, no, same thing. That's what I'm saying as well. So
but yeah, I mean, you're right, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, ease of use, using these technologies. And this is coming from a summit from 2025 where she's like, yo, retail traders know more than institutions. But like, what retail traders? Because it's not all retail traders. 98% of retail traders, if you look at the statistics, lose money. So what retail traders are the ones that know more than the banks? It's not the retail traders that are screaming price predictions at you guys. I want you guys to know that right now. It's not those retail traders, right? So tap in, lock in what retail traders are. It's the communities like ours who have been involved in this space, who have the credentials, who have the portfolios to show you guys the rising equity curve. Like, we're not here to mess about. Those are the types of people who you should be tapped in and paying attention to. If you're a retail trader yourself, most likely listening to this, the people in this space who are locked in with what the institutions are locked into. So why is all this so important? Why am I even showing you guys this? Okay, so back to the post that I'd said, this is just the beginning. Institutions are starting to catch on. They're going to start to slowly integrate this technology into their systems, and the window of opportunity is closing. Now we're going to listen to this lady here. This is, let me just get her credentials correct. I believe she is the head of digital assets at the DTCC, if I'm not mistaken. She's the managing director of digital assets at DTCC, Nadine Chakar, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. There's 3 video clips I want to play. First, her explaining to anybody that doesn't know what the DTCC is, what the DTCC is, so you can understand why we're even listening to them. And then she talks about how all banks are on board, which confirms exactly what I'm trying to show you guys, that maybe they don't understand what's going on to a full detailistic extent, because there's still lack of education, but they are on board and they are ready. They're ready when regulations are here. And then at the end of her spiel, she says to the audience, by the way, this is at the Stellar Development Foundation Meridian event that just took place in 2025. She says to the audience, look, the water's warm, y'all. Now's the time to get into crypto. Now's the time to jump in. If you're not already involved, now's the time. And that's just such a powerful message coming from an organization that processes quadrillions of freaking dollars per year. So go ahead.
At the beginning too, she says there's 15 zeros in quadrillion. I was like, yo, that when you
I'm gonna play that clip. I'm gonna let her introduce.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna let her introduce what the DTCC is to everybody. So just take
for
a
sure.
second and listen.
That is. So can you just give us the elevator pitch of what is it and what do you do there?
Absolutely. Does anybody know what DTCC is?
Want to know the best way to get toned this year? It's not fat diets, heavy restrictions.
Yes, we want to know.
Becoming an obsessive cardio.
Y'all want to know how to get shredded this year? All right, listen to her talk.
All right, that's the most I've ever gotten. Thank you. So it is the Depository Trust Corporation, and DTCC is actually the sole provider of post-trade infrastructure in the United States. So we're the only CSD there. We settle about $4 quadrillion in trades every year. Okay, another question. Does anybody know how many zeros are there in a quadrillion?
I was just trying to think about that.
15. I had to look it up. And we actually came to existence about 50 years ago when Wall Street had what was today known as the paperwork crisis. So if you remember, in the old days, they used to use bike messengers to move securities between different firms on Wall Street. The firms got together when trading took off. They just couldn't keep up anymore, and hence DTCC was created. I usually like to say we were the original atomic settlement mechanism, albeit an old-fashioned way. We do a lot of clearing. We are also a clearer, so there is always a buyer for every sale and a seller for every buy. And we are owned and governed by our participants, which is a really important factor, because all the work that we're doing in this space is actually being done with the market, for the market, and that's how we're trying to move things forward. Look at this, even my voice is clearing.
Yeah, look at that. So is it fair to say that's pretty much the backbone of the U.S. financial system?
It is. Every single equity trade that's done in the U.S. market, or if a repo trade, is actually settled, cleared, and custodied by DTCC.
Okay, so these insights are coming from people. You heard the lady just say here from the Stellar Development Foundation. So you're pretty much the backbone of the financial system. Yeah, right. And for the first time ever on stage at these events, listen to what she's saying. The rhetoric has completely changed. I'd say that prior to like maybe 2024, it was extremely hard to find video clips of financial organizations going out and publicly saying, look, get into crypto, y'all. Right? The primary rhetoric before 2024, and now especially 2025, was crypto is a scam. Don't touch it. We can't touch it. It's unregulated. We're never going to be able to put it on our balance sheet. Now that's completely changed. And it's not only changed, but they're trying to figure out how they can hedge against the volatility that comes inherently with digital assets and holding them. And that is going to come through yield generation. That is going to come through them, these large institutions being able to go out, park their, capital in an ETF wrapper that's staking, or go out and provide node services on a blockchain and earn yield to hedge against the volatility, and especially the volatility that comes in market downturn cycles. Not only that, but also the ability to be relatively liquid, where in a market down cycle, these institutions have the ability to get out of digital asset positions, park their money in stable coins or money market funds or whatever it is that they park their money in, and earn yield on those positions as well while they're waiting for the bear market to settle, that they can enter back into the market with the bigger position, because the entire time they were in a stable asset, they were earning yield on it. And so all of that is happening right now. And if you ignore it, Again, just like these institutions are going to lack competitiveness, you as a retail participant as well are going to lack competitiveness, right? And you don't want to be that type of person heading into this new digital future that has no idea what you actually hold. How many times have you seen people on the internet say, know what you hold, and they just got crypto sitting in their cold storage wallet?
More times than
That's not knowing what you hold. That's not knowing the power of the technology that you hold. That's just buying something and literally collecting dust on it, doing nothing with it, just hoping. Don't hope. Don't hope. Give yourself hope. Give yourself information. Give yourself education and understand the power that you have. Literally, we now have, with our mobile phone and an internet connection, the power of the banks. That's powerful, y'all. They never wanted us to not be in crypto. They wanted us to not have the power of the financial institutions, right? They didn't care about a couple people getting rich off crypto. What they cared about is not giving everybody their sovereignty. It's not giving everybody their freedom. And DeFi is exactly what does that, right? So let's listen to this lady here go on and talk about how all the banks, she specifically says, and I quote, all the banks are on board. Check this out.
See this? This is not a credit card.
Nope.
Even though it looks like one at first glance.
Joining it with the good get there and make it more affordable, more available to people worldwide, which is also a stellar mission to make, to address the unbankables, to make finance more democratic. There's a big pie out there. We can slice it in a way where more people can benefit from that. But you can't do that if you don't understand where the bodies are buried. You don't understand how the inefficiencies are. And now leveraging this technology to do that. And I'll tell you, whether it's BNY, State Street, all the banks are on board right now because they also understand that it's impossible. The inefficiencies are, and now leveraging this technology to do that. And I'll tell you, whether it's BNY, State Street, all the banks are on board right now because they also understand that it's impossible to continue to grow and innovate if you can't modernize your infrastructure while you're doing this. And we've got a once in a lifetime opportunity to do it, and it's very exciting.
Yeah.
So she just said all the banks are on board. We have a once in a lifetime opportunity, and the banks understand that if they don't modernize their infrastructure, again, like we said, they risk falling behind.
Yo, and that too aligns with what John Ungerlin had said as well, as far as, and John Ungerlin is the CIO over at DeLand. On that podcast that we just shared, I believe it was last Friday, right? Or the Friday after that, I don't know. But
it was last Friday, yeah.
Last Friday, right? So he had said, it's checkmate. If your competition can move money at a fraction of the cost, not lose money, like it's checkmate. I should play it. I think I have it too right here real quick. I have it on my Snipverse. Hold on. Do you mind if I just play this? Because it literally goes hand in hand with what she just said right now.
Yeah, play it, bro. Share your screen.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me share my screen here real quick here. Yo, I made 61 cents on this post too, by the way, bro. Shout out Snipverse.
We're definitely gonna get into Snipverse today for sure.
All right, so this is the Chief Information Officer at DeLand. All right, DeLand just partnered with Metallicus. DeLand has 4,000 plus credit unions under their umbrella, right? So this guy is really important. Last month he was on a podcast, or 2 months ago he was on a podcast with Marshall, and then on this podcast he's sitting side by side with John Ainsworth. But listen to this clip; it's like 47 seconds here.
Volumes and deposit volume and lending volume and consumer adoption and large organization statistics out there that would open people's eyes to the fact that we're very clearly in the era of stablecoin adoption, and I think we're going to expediently move into the era of other digital asset networks being used for payments and settlements. And look, if a financial institution doesn't have a strategy on this, the reality is their competitor is going to be able to move and settle money at a fraction of the cost compared to them. And that's an end game reality. That's a checkmate. If you're in the money business and your competitor can do it exponentially faster, cheaper, and safer than you, then you can't compete. And that doesn't have to be the case for local institutions.
Hand in hand, hand in hand.
Checkmate, huh?
Checkmate.
And
Checkmate.
I love hearing those perspectives because every time I hear like a bank say what's going to happen to another bank, I think of that in the retail sense. Like if retail traders aren't adopting this stuff, if they're not incorporating it into their finance, imagine being the type of person who makes a 9 to 5 salary, an average salary of anywhere between, I don't know what an average salary is nowadays, what, 40 to $70,000 a year or something like that.
Maybe, yeah.
Right. Let's just say that that's it. You're making $40 to $70,000 a year, and you're doing nothing with your income. And every single month, you're paying your bills. You're paying for your Netflix. You're buying your Disney Plus. You're paying for your food. You're taking your family out. And every single time, every single month you get paid, you're doing that with your money. Versus another person that's making the same exact amount of money, except every single month they store $500 into DeFi. And after 12 months, looking back, that $500 a month that was earning, I don't know, 10% yield, next year, they flip the script on you. And now, instead of doing all the same things that they were doing alongside with you the year before, the next following year, they're using DeFi to do all those same things, pay their electricity bill, pay their water bill, buy their coffee. If they want to take their family to a nice dinner that cost $80 or $100 for the night out, they're using their DeFi money. They are going to level up.
Facts.
Way ahead of you, not only in terms of finances, but just their comfortability and their lifestyle is going to be so much more lavish because they're not suffering, right? They're using the market's money to do the things. It's a complete flip.
And it's going to grow over time as well. It's going to just get bigger and bigger. So
it is. That's going to lead us into, actually, as a matter of fact, since you said that, we're going to get into this post. We're going to come back to the lady of Nadine saying to the audience, like, hey, now's the time to get in. But this post, let me share this one. It goes hand in hand with what you just said from Marshall Hayner. Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Yeah, man. Powerful stuff here.
It is.
So let's listen to this last clip real fast. This is, again, the head of digital assets at the DTCC. And just when asked to close it off for the audience, what's the last thing you want to say to everybody? She literally tells everybody, y'all, get into crypto now. Now, obviously, of course, not financial advice. I'm just attempting to show you guys the rhetoric, right? We're keeping in mind that I'm trying to show you all that the gap that we have right now to front run these institutions is closing, because now you have a person who can give financial advice, who literally works for an organization that processes quadrillions of dollars, saying, look, get into crypto. Why would another organization ignore this advice? Right?
Yeah,
They're not going to.
But people need to do it for all the right reasons. What we're seeing is a lot of people engaging also because of the fear of missing out. I mean, I can't tell you how many calls I get going, can you guys help us tokenize a money market? And I'm like, sure. Why do you want to do it? Well, BlackRock is doing it. Vanguard is doing it. Franklin Templeton. I'm like, yeah, but dude, you're not Franklin Templeton. You're not BlackRock. Why do you want to do it? It's like, my board asked me about it, right? So it's really important for people. The technology is important, but we've done the heavy lifting, and I mean the collective we in the industry. We've done the heavy lifting on the technology. I think the hardest part right now is figuring out your North Star, figuring out why, and are you willing to disrupt your operating model, your commercial model, your distribution model for promises of what this technology is going to deliver. And frankly, it's hard. It's hard to give up a steady paycheck, right? Whether it's client revenues, it's technology that you know.
So I was just playing that one clip part real fast because she talks about exactly what I just mentioned. Like, these institutions, they're reaching out to her and they're like, why do you want to do this? And they're like, because BlackRock's doing it, Franklin Templeton's doing it. And there's like this feeling of FOMO right now. So again, as more institutions continue to do this, that FOMO is only going to continue to grow, and it's going to turn into something so monumental. I don't think a lot of people that aren't really aware of how and big of a wave of liquidity is coming to crypto and digital assets, they're going to get so priced out thinking that they have time, thinking that they have 5-10 years to get this right. No, I'm telling you, that window is closing so fast. So here's the rest of this clip. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut this lady off. Here's the rest of this clip.
Figuring out how we move forward together. There's There's not one chain that's going to win them all. There's not one way of doing things that's going to, it's like, how do we interoperate and work together and do find what's in the greater good, as you said. But in our less than a minute, for those who are sitting on the sidelines in this evolution, as it's not an overnight thing, what do you have to say?
Your time is up, guys. Like, just get in there. The water feels good. Dip your toes in and get going. This technology is moving too fast. Like, I've worked in institutions all my life where I was told there's no benefit in being a first mover. We just want to be a quick follower, and there's some merit in that. But the time now has come to be a follower. The technology is moving too fast. Like, if you sit by the sideline for any longer, it's going to be really hard to catch up. Just get in there. Again, the water's really good, and I think you'll enjoy the ride. So please reach out if there's anything.
Bro, how she starts it. You got to get in there, guys. The time is up.
So, I don't know if this is a subconscious thing that she threw in there or whether she was conscious, whatever. But, she makes this reference to water. And for anybody that studies the financial system, you know that it has a very deep connection to water. And she's talking about this liquidity wave. She's talking about anything that has to do with finances has something to do with water. But she says the water's warm, y'all. The water's warm. The water's good. Dip your toes in it.
So she says that. Dan Donnie says the dam is broken.
Or not Dan Donnie, Paul Brody.
Or Paul Brody. Yeah, my bad. Paul Brody. And then you have John Ungerlin that says it's dangerous to not be in these assets right now.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. What's happening?
Those are 4 really important people right there. Just saying.
Yeah, really important stuff. So now for the second portion of this post. So I just showed you guys, okay, these banks, they're just starting to catch on. They're finally getting the green light. We as retail traders are front running them. We've confirmed that all, okay? But the window is closing. And I said here in the second portion of this is that major institutions are now starting to learn the same lending, borrowing, and looping strategies that early DeFi participants have been using for years. And we already know, we heard from somebody with credentials in the space say retail knows. They know what's going on. They know what's good. They know about the technology. They're using it. We're using it right now. I know for a fact. I can't sit here and say how much money Aqua's making in passive income, but I'm making a good amount of passive income just in DeFi looping strategy. So I know what this technology can do. Do you? Again, if your assets are just sitting there idle and you're still watching Bullish Moonboy Hopium just sitting there waiting, and you're like, yeah, October's here. We're going to be rich. And, oh my gosh, bull run 2025, 2026 bull run. Like, that mentality is like, you got to get past that way of thinking and understand crypto is for life. And there is no going back to fiat, y'all. Like, you don't have to do that anymore. That mindset of selling your crypto portfolio and putting it back in your bank account and going out and living lavishly, you are going to lose horribly once everything transitions over to the blockchain.
And it's going to be exactly what she just said. Nadine just said, it's going to be impossible to catch up.
It's going to be impossible to catch up for people that think that they're going to be able to time market cycles properly, pull in profit like they're traders, like they actually understand fundamentals to re-implicate that capital back into a discounted opportunity. All these things that people are just going to get wrong instead of zooming out and realizing, again, compound, stack shares of block space, continue to accumulate these assets. Secure the network, provide infrastructure for yourself and for the network that you like, whether it's Metal, whether it's XDC, whether it's like all these assets and these networks that you can go out and be a node provider for. Like, learn how to do that stuff, right? Because I guarantee you there's going to be, again, the type of person that participates in DeFi, has a long-term 2030 and beyond vision, buckles down, isn't fixated on XRP going to $1,000, and instead is fixated on when XRP goes to $1,000, how am I going to secure my wealth and make my family bloodline retire? That's the mindset that you should have, right? I never have to sell my XRP or my XPR or my metal for fiat trash ever again. That's when you become powerful. That's when your mentality becomes unstoppable.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's how you're going to be in crypto for a lifetime. And you're going to be able to hang on to these digital assets and keep them in your family bloodline when it's your time. Period.
So let me show you guys that these institutions, they are for a fact paying attention to some of these strategies. This is a gentleman, his name's Sid Powell. I'm pretty sure he's the CEO of Maple Finance, which is one of the biggest, institutional DeFi providers in all of crypto. And listen to him talk about how he's speaking to these institutions and they're talking about lending and borrowing. So just so you guys have verbal proof, this isn't just coming from some retail perspective. It's coming from people who work with these traditional financial players.
And kind of the stalwart and still the go-to place if you want.
Ooh, let me slow it down. Sorry, I watched these videos on 1.5 speed.
Want to deploy, especially anything that looks like borrow lend, stable coins, etc. Sid, I would love to get your perspective on kind of the institutional demand around the space. Like, what's it felt like? You've been building for a long time. Like, kind of take us through the journey here of what it felt like in the beginning, kind of the messy middle, and are we coming out the other side?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think if we, I mean, we've been kind of building and live since 2020. And if I think back to what the institutional conversations were like back then, a lot of traditional finance companies and Wall Street companies had set up crypto teams by then. 2021, we were meeting folks at Citi and Citi and initially BlackRock. Obviously, BlackRock's made a lot more progress than other companies since then, but we're meeting those teams. They're very interested in tokenizing assets on the blockchain, and but none of them had really kind of made substantial investments or launched anything. And then obviously we went through 2022 and the plug really got pulled on most of those teams and projects. A lot of them got repurposed within the organizations to work on different stuff, and really the interest was kind of gone for a couple of years. And we wouldn't have been able to get any calls with any of these banks in 2023 and early 2024. And now it's come, we've kind of come full circle, and we're once again having conversations with some of the large bulge bracket banks in Wall Street. And you're seeing, headlines about JP Morgan considering lending against Bitcoin. And so I think we're back to where we were in 2020 and 2021, but this time with much more traction. BlackRock has.
So word for word, exactly what me and Aqua were just telling you guys a second ago. Look, just go back to 2022, what happened? Market got obliterated. 2023, people were super skeptical. In 2024, that skepticism still lingered. Now in 2025, I've shown you guys what all these institutions think about things on stage. They're still a little clueless. They're still dipping their toes in the water, but they're not fully here yet. And here you have a gentleman, I'm pretty sure they have over $1 billion of AUM on their platform, Maple Finance. I just don't know off the top of my head, so excuse my ignorance, but they are one of the biggest lend, borrow, stake platforms for institutional players in this space. And he's sitting here saying, like, look, in our meetings, we're talking about lending and borrowing to these banks and these institutions for the first time again since 2020. That's huge confirmation of what we're showing you guys right now, that these banks are 110% interested in these strategies. All right. Go ahead, Aqua. Did you have something? All right. So on this one, this next video, we're going to get now more into the nitty gritty. This is Sanato Rao. He is from Monarch Asset Management Firm. They are a quantitative asset management firm. And he specifically mentions, this is really important because it kind of dials down more so into physical proof, verbal proof of what they're focused on. He talks about how they are looping. They're looking at looping strategies. That's so important because how many people think that looping strategies are like, oh, you can't do it because it's unregulated. But here you have Monarch Asset Management. Go look at how regulated they are. Go look at what they do. Go look at who they are in this space and how much AUM they have. And here they are on stage saying that they are participating in looping strategies in DeFi. This is huge verbal confirmation that this is happening from an institutional standpoint.
That's, I think, then dealing with that. I need the yield needs to compensate for the risk, right?
And which is why what ends up happening for us is we end up looking at real world assets, and almost always we are looking to loop it, right? So, and I know it's not a security question. So in fact, we're actually adding more risk, right? But we like to loop it so that the yield is higher than what it would be traditionally in just from the asset itself, right? And looping means basically depositing, rehypothecating the asset, depositing that somewhere, borrowing USDC against it, and buying more of the same asset, and so on. And so for us,
right? So this is like a 30-second video clip in this 30-minute long panel discussion, but it's such a gem right there because you have this onset of retail investors that are still sidelined, keep in mind, that are like, oh, I'm not participating in DeFi. It's a scam. It's not real. It's going to get rug pulled. But yet, from the retail perspective, you have the DTCC saying, get in the market now. And you got institutional players and people that work with institutions saying, hey, we're talking to banks about lending and borrowing, and an institutional player sitting here saying they are participating in DeFi looping strategies to enhance yield. To do what? To hedge against the volatility of these digital assets. The only way these banks are going to be able to get involved is if they can do that, which is why they're going to adopt DeFi at such a rapid pace, because DeFi enhances the yield to allow them to hedge against a volatile asset like crypto.
And he said they're going to be using real world assets as well, right? So
I think that there's going to be a mix in a portfolio. It's going to be like bonds, money market funds, digital assets, stable coins. It's going to be a whole, yeah, like a whole multitude of things. But yeah, bottom line is, bro, this is huge verbal confirmation. And so if verbal confirmation isn't enough for you, I always come with the documents and the timestamps, right? Shout out to the CyberX researchers. This is a document straight from Deloitte. And this is Deloitte's Global Digital Finance, coupled with Zodia Custody Report, Building the Foundations of Trust from 2025. And in one portion here, look at what it says. Okay, key vocabulary. It talks about the flywheel effect, right? Stablecoins and tokenized money market funds. One of the most advanced institutional use cases for tokenized settlement is the tokenization of money market funds. These short duration, high liquid instruments are ideal candidates for on-chain deployment. Their relatively low risk and consistent returns make them attractive for experimentation with digital rails, especially in the context of treasury management, collateralization, and intraday liquidity. Critically, TMMFs can now use Circle's USDC or other stablecoins for subscription, redemption, and earning yield. This usage embeds stablecoins deeper into institutional workflows and reinforces their legitimacy as on-chain settlement tools. Then here it says, in turn, the availability of stablecoins enables new yield-bearing instruments and more composable financial infrastructure, creating positive feedback loops.
They ain't playing.
They're not playing, bro. I'm telling you guys.
They're not playing. And they're letting us know. And these are strategies like that looping strategy. That's something that retail like created with like the language, right? So that is because we've been talking about looping strategies since 24. So
now let's get into some of these announcements from the Metallicus ecosystem as of recent. Aqua, do you want to go ahead and read this one, bro? Hold on, let me zoom in for you.
Yeah, I got you, bro.
Hold up. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, this is massive too, by the way. Yeah. So massive news for Stellar XLM holders and the entire ISO family. Stellar XLM is now live on the loan protocol, meaning you can lend, borrow, and earn incentives without needing to sell your utility assets. This is a game changer because now the top ISO tokens, HBAR, XRP, and XLM are all available to be posted as collateral. You never have to sell your bags. You can unlock liquidity while holding long term. You can earn extra yield with loan token incentives. This is exactly the kind of infrastructure we've been waiting for. The rails for real adoption are being built right in front of our eyes. Thank you, Metallicus, XPR Network, Loan Protocol. Shout out Marshall Hayner and the whole Metallicus team.
Bro, Marshall Hayner reposted this.
That's lit. Okay, yeah.
You know?
Let's go.
Marshall Hayner reposted this. You know what's crazy? It makes me think like how heavily involved Marshall Hayner probably is with regulators. And he's really taking the time as a CEO of an organization to step down and take time to repost retail traders who are actually making sense. When was the last time you saw a CEO repost some bullish price prediction that some retail investor gave out? Never. Why
Never.
you think that is, y'all?
He
Come on
knows
now.
what he's got. He knows what he built. You know
But
what I
here
mean?
you got Marshall Hayner reposting a post about how we can lend our digital assets out, borrow against them, earn incentives. Why? Because he's aligned with the same thing. Go check his content out. It says right here, you may not be able to stake XLM natively, but you can get paid to lend it on loan protocol and then get paid again to borrow XPR and stake it and then earn loan and stake that too. Only made possible on XPR network. Stop working for money and start making money work for you.
Shout out Marshall, bro.
Dude's out here running the whole game right now like a boss.
Like a boss. And nobody, like most people are not paying attention because of native thoughts.
When was the last time Brad Garlinghouse came out and was like, I want you XRP holders to win and never go broke and retire your family bloodline.
And as a matter of fact, too, I'll even say this. I'll take it a step further. David Schwartz could have put DeFi in layman's terms when he was talking on stage, when we were trying to break down his verbiage and tell the people what he was really saying about DeFi. He could have went up on stage and spoken layman's terms, just like this post from Marshall. This is so easy to understand, especially when you just tap in a little bit to DeFi. You can make sense of this. Why speak in code? And it's like this is coming, like he genuinely cares about the people, in my opinion. So
I agree, man. I agree. It's very nice to see from an individual that's so high up that's, makes time for the average person in a sense. Feels good. Feels like he's really, I guess you could say, embedded with this ideology behind a level playing field. Just great to see. Just to show you guys some more proof, this was a phenomenal announcement, and this is directly from a bank. And I like the verbiage in this, which is why I'm showing it to you guys, so you all don't think that I'm making it up, that these banks are positioning themselves so they never have to sell their crypto. I want you guys to see it from a bank. So this is from October 1st, 2025. As always, dropping you guys the timestamps with the updated info. Swiss bank Signnum launches BTC Alpha Fund in collaboration with Starboard Digital to generate yield on Bitcoin. So if you think about this, think they're going to be doing it on Bitcoin and not all the other good digital assets, all the other blue chips that are out there, ain't wrong. They're about to be stacking up these assets, earning yield on them, pricing retail investors out, just like they price retail out of the stock market. A lot of retail investors are about to get priced out of the crypto market, thinking that the market's going to respect the whole 4-year cycle narrative after these institutions are just holding and earning yield on top of holding, creating constant buy pressure for these digital assets. So check this out. It says Signnum, a global digital asset banking group, announces the launch of Starboard Signnum BTC Alpha Fund in collaboration with Starboard Digital and Starmark as AIFM, with Signnum providing regulated, I repeat, regulated distribution and banking infrastructure. The fund addresses growing demand from investors seeking to generate yield on their Bitcoin holdings while maintaining full exposure to Bitcoin's price appreciation. The fund has already generated significant interest from professional investors seeking quality yield opportunities on their Bitcoin holdings. The fund targets 8 to 10% annual returns. That's double-digit yield, y'all. Paid in Bitcoin, allowing investors to grow their numbers of Bitcoin over time. Generating yield on Bitcoin while maintaining exposure to its appreciation potential has been key challenging for institutional investors, said Nicholas Skerlatos, probably butchered the crap out of his last name, from Starboard Digital. He said, our partnership with Signnum delivers one of the few high-quality institutional setups available to grow Bitcoin holdings over time. A key feature of this fund is its integration with Signnum's broader banking services. So this is full 110% proof that anybody's telling you guys that DeFi is a scam. It is integrated now into banking infrastructure, y'all. Okay? So block them and ignore them and tell them that they are the crazy one and not you for believing in this new technology. Okay? Because here's the proof right here. Fund shares will be eligible as collateral for USD Lombard loans at Signnum so that investors can access liquidity for other opportunities without having to sell their fund position. Drops the mic.
Mic drop, bro. Mic drop.
Man,
yeah.
You can't get any more proof than this. It's right there from a bank. You know, it makes me happy to see this stuff, bro. But people will be like, they'll still be in the comments like,
we got a couple too. I ain't gonna lie. Shit.
like DeFi's a scam, bro. What are you talking about, man? The fiat system that you use to pay your bills is a scam. Free yourself with DeFi, bro. Come on.
Facts. Facts.
I wanted to share this one too because I don't think people understand how much serious money is in like DeFi. So this one piqued my interest. I was just reading this. This was in the Snipverse research chat, but this just kind of gives you a very interesting perspective. Like, if DeFi was a scam, ask yourself, would they really have this much money oriented towards yield generation? And then think about what I just showed you. These banks are going to be able to offer 8 to 10% yield on yield generation. That's a massive amount when you consider these amounts I'm about to show you. So check this out. And you could even drop it a little bit lower. What is native Ethereum staking? Like what, 4.5%, 5% or something?
It's like around 2.5, 3 probably.
Yeah,
right.
something small, right? It's definitely in the lower double digit or the lower single digits. But this reads, Bit Digital, one of the world's largest Ethereum treasuries with over $532 million in ETH as of September 30th, 2025. So this is fresh. It's only like, what, 4 days old. Has selected Figment as its primary staking provider to bolster its ETH strategy. Bit Digital has actively adopted staking in its strategy and has over 86% of that $532 million of ETH to date staked. Yeah, bro, that is a massive amount of money staked. And then it goes on to talk about supported by investors such as Tomo Bravo, Counterpoint, Global, Morgan Stanley, Franklin Templeton, and Avon Ventures, Fidelity. Bit Digital chose Figment for its proven track record of serving 1,000 plus institutional clients worldwide with $17 billion in assets under stake. So there's $17 billion right now on this one platform being staked, bro.
That is wild, bro. That's wild.
It just puts things into perspective for the people that are like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
It's not real. No, it's real, y'all. The real money this is real money.
Yeah. And that's just included in the DeFi Llama total then, right? Whatever DeFi Llama is telling us, that's included in that.
Yeah.
That bucket of liquidity.
You know, like I look at this number and what is, I don't know, 86% of 532 million. Like, what is that? Like maybe high $400 million range, something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Of that money earning, you know, native ETH staking rewards, which you said is what, let's just go with 3%, bro. That's a lot of money annually.
Hell yeah, it is.
So this business literally, I mean, I don't know what their business expenses are, what their employee pay is throughout the year, but they could honestly probably just pay their employees or run their business expenses off the yield that they're generating.
Mm-hmm. See how much powerful these institutions are going to get with DeFi at their fingertips, man.
So powerful, bro. It's going to be a competition war like none other. It's going to be so exciting to see in the future moving forward. Over to the net new announcement, right? Looking at the loan protocol. Wow. I mean, dude, this is the second time now that they've done this where the TVL of a new asset that they've listed has surpassed $3 million in 24 hours.
Yeah, they did it with HBAR first, right? Yeah. Dang.
I mean, I wasn't around when they listed some of these other assets, so I don't know, but you know, not necessarily not around, but I wasn't paying attention to loan protocol until as of recent. But
yeah, no, these are like the most recent. I don't know exactly when these other ones came into fruition. They were, I think, last year and the year before. But yeah, these two for sure this year. This is amazing to have $3.4 million already lent out with like a very limited amount of eyes on this protocol. Man,
actually, bro, it's literally been 24 hours. So what they announced this yesterday at 1:05 p.m. Right? This is from Loan Protocol. This was their first announcement yesterday, October 2nd, 1:05 p.m. And now it's, 2:40 p.m. And here they are, bro, freaking $3 million, 8.3 million XLM. XLM holders know what's up.
Yeah, facts.
Like XLM holders know what's up. XRP holders know what's up too. It's so crazy, it's like
23 million right now on XRP.
Dude, 23 million freaking dollars.
Damn, that's leading the pack. That's the biggest TVL out of all of these assets, right? I'm not tripping, am I?
It's bigger than Bitcoin. Dude, people don't understand like how many XRP whales out there. Like if you are an XRP holder as a retail investor and you believe in what XRP is going to be in the future and you're thinking about selling your XRP, please, God help you. Like, look, man.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, these whales, think about it. If XRP really is everything that we've been doing research it to be over the past couple of years, you think that these banks are going to get rid of it? Nah. No, they're not getting rid of it. They're not selling it.
Man.
So I wouldn't be surprised if just like Bitcoin turns into some type of store of value, same thing, just over time, XRP and it not being sold over the course of time. I mean, there's obviously, of course, always going to be organizations and firms and hedge funds that sell because they're trading institutions, but like big whales that aren't trading institutions and just want a strong treasury balance sheet and have XRP exposure, and then they can also earn yield on it and lend it out and borrow against it if they need capital or principal to do things with. Oh my God, my dude. And the crazier part right now is Loan Protocol is actually paying you to borrow against your XRP. So like if XRP, for example, and I know that the numbers would change if this happened, but let's just say XRP was trading at $1,000 right now, and you wanted to go buy yourself a house or a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or whatever, you'd actually get paid to do that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally. You're not even capping.
You know, I mean, obviously, of course, the numbers would change if if XRP was $1,000, there'd probably be a bunch of different dynamics and whatnot. But I'm just saying, like as an example, I mean, at $3, let's just use it as an example right now. If you lent out, let's say you have $100,000 cash in XRP right now, invested in XRP, or your XRP portfolio is worth that much, and you wanted to go buy yourself a new whatever car, you know, you could take a loan out 75% against your XRP, your $100,000, give yourself $75,000, use 25,000 of it to put into a liquidity pool in stable coins or some type of other lending borrowing platform to earn yield to pay your loan back, and then go take $60,000 of that 75,000 borrowed money and go buy yourself a new car right now instead of using the bank.
This is what's being all a bank, like being your own bank. This is what it's all about. It's not just cold storage. It's this right here. This is what being your own bank right here.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Man, matter of fact, go ahead and sell your XRP so I can buy it from you.
Keep it, hang on to it, lend it out here on the Loan Protocol.
So
and
I
do
can
whatever I want.
So I can lend my XRP out and do whatever I want. Participate in the fiat system with my lent out XRP, bro. It's so powerful. It's so crazy. It's so crazy that now in my portfolio, because I don't have Cardano, I don't hold Cardano personally. I got Litecoin, but I don't know why I haven't brought it over. I haven't felt like it's a significant amount enough to come over, but 12% is not bad. But bro, Stellar, Hedera, HBAR, and XRP are some of my top positions, and they're all right now earning on Loan Protocol.
Man, I like what Marshall said too. You can borrow against it, get some XPR, stake it. Like, man.
Yeah, he was talking about looping, bro. Looping is powerful. Let's get into that. Let's get into looping because we've been going on for about an hour and 13 now, but I want to really touch on this. So if we go over to what Marshall was saying, you may not be able to stake XLM natively, but you can get paid to lend it on loan and then get paid again to borrow XPR and stake it. And then I like how you just keep saying, and then.
Yeah.
And then earn loan and stake that too. Only made possible on the XPR network. Stop working for money and start making money work for you. Let's get into some of these looping strategies, bro, that we talk about. And I want to really focus everybody's attention on Snipverse today, because Snipverse is one of those platforms that is just going to be so phenomenal in this new financial system as another way for you to generate passive rewards and turn a few dollars here and there into a couple $100 every single week for yourself to live off of the market's money instead of your hard-earned money. So I said here in this post, it's wild how social. Matter of fact, you want me to let you read it, Aqua?
Yeah, I got it. So it says, it's wild how social media works today. Creators spend countless hours putting out real educational value while the algorithm boosts garbage that earns thousands. The result, high value content gets buried by shadow bans and cheap engagement tricks. I totally agree with that. That's why Snipverse changes everything. You don't have to game someone else's algorithm to earn. Every post, every comment, every share is directly rewarded in real time. That is what social media should have been from the start. Value first, fair rewards, no shadow banning, algorithms, no gatekeepers, no bots. The list goes on. If you post constantly on X, all your same posts could be earning in real time over on Snipverse. And you're not even capping. Like, I've been downloading some videos that I like on TikTok and posting them on Snipverse and getting paid for them. And they're like great motivational videos that I'm like, I like and repost, but I'm like, let me just download this and post it on Snipverse and make a couple bucks on it, you know?
You could literally not post anything on your feed on Snips and just go on Snipverse and comment on other people's posts. Like if you troll people on Twitter right now, you could go get paid to be a troll on Snipverse.
Hey, and it's not a bot. It's not a bot troll. We know this is a real human troll.
But don't do that because Snipverse, we know you're real, so we'll find you. You know, like. No, but I'm just saying, like, it's just so funny, man. It's just so crazy the opportunities that we have. I want to get into this because our DeFi mentor put this out. By the way, I'm not encouraging anybody to go over on Snipverse and troll people. I'm just saying it's just so funny. People are wasting their hard-earned time, you know, trolling people on Twitter, not getting paid for it. At least go get paid for it. You know, I'm just saying if that stuff floats your boat, you know. But anyways, our DeFi mentor Kev, shout out to Kev for this. He posted this. It says, that's the loop. And remember, I've already showed you guys these institutions are telling us that retail traders are front running, talking about looping strategies, and they're also talking about generating consistent reward on their digital assets. Well, here's a perfect example about how here in the CyberX 1228 Club, we're tapped into this. We're tapped into these looping strategies, these constant, ever-evolving, yield-generating, pretty much never go broke loops that exist right now in crypto that a lot of people are going to really start to pick up on. And once the snowball effect and more people in crypto are like, wow, I'll never go broke, literally. It's going to be so monumental. DeFi is going to be one of the biggest niche categories, if not the biggest niche category in the crypto ecosystem, in my opinion. Yeah, it's going to be monumental, crazy. Definitely not subject to market volatility. There's still a lot of risks involved. I'm not denying that by any means, but there's risk mitigation strategies and there's a careful way to approach DeFi so that way you're not exposing yourself to excessive amount of risk. And one of the ways to do that is to stick to ecosystems that comply with regulations, that adhere to AML, KYC requirements, and that are aligned with financial institutional interest. And the Metallicus ecosystem does that. So talking about Snipverse, which is built on the XPR network, makes me comfortable because it's like they're built on a blockchain that is compliant with regulation. So it's like, you know, at the end of the day, it makes sense. But here, Kevin goes on to say, that's the loop. Snip rewards, take those over to the metal farming platform, harvest those snip rewards from the metal farm, and then put them back into Snipverse stake position and continuously earn more snips. So I just want to show people how relatively simple this is by going over a live example. This is my Snipverse account. Crazy. I've been on X for going on, I think, 5 years now. Have over 45,000 followers on Twitter. The algorithm hates me. I'm so super shadow banned on X and on YouTube for sure, 110%. But I shared with everybody the other day that Twitter has only ever paid me out $45, $45 over the past 5 years of being a content creator on Twitter, right? And then here, if you go into my wallet on Snipverse, I've only been on Snipverse for a month and a half and have made $85 in rewards, right?
And that's gonna only get bigger, Because how many people are on Snipverse right now? There's like 3,000 people that are making that happen.
Less than 4,000. Imagine if just 10 big name influencers were like, dude, I'm tired of not earning on Twitter. And they just started, and I'm talking about 10 big name influencers that all have over 100,000 followers. If all of them just started talking about Snipverse, we would see the online user count on Snipverse go from 3,000 to 50,000 easily.
Easily.
And if I'm making $1.50 pretty much minimum per post right now on Snipverse, can you imagine what you're going to be doing in the future on Snipverse with 100,000 online users, 200,000 online? It's going to be crazy, dude.
And especially once they hit that million mark too, man. That's possible. So social media is one of the fastest growing like platforms, right? I believe AI is like the fastest now. I think I forget what like diagram I had seen. I think ChatGPT had like the most people come in and sign up in history. But
dude, think about all the young kids, the young like high school. Like I got a younger brother who's in his, well, actually just kidding. He graduated this year, but he was in high school. And I just think about like his like youth group, like his, you know, he's like 19 or 18 now, something like that. And just imagine if they caught on, right? If they caught on, they're like, well, I'm over on Instagram and they're always following influencers and stuff that are making so much money on Instagram and YouTube, just being content creators. Well, here I am. I don't have 100,000 followers, but I can still make $1 per post. That's a level playing field, if you ask me.
Yeah, there's your cup of coffee too, just to put a post up a day, you know?
Flat out. So I want to show you guys how easy this is to participate in this loop that Kev was talking about here, where he's like, hey, you know, go over, take your snip rewards that you're earning from snips, put them into a metal farm, harvest the snips from the metal farm, and then put them back into a Snipverse stake, just to show you guys. So these are the types of strategies that we constantly talk about in the CyberX Wallet 28 Club. If you guys don't know how to create a snips account, you guys want to be part of a like-minded community that's tapped into these looping strategies and so many more, head over to cyberxtrading.com, tap in with the CyberX Wallet 28 Club, and you want to go a little step further, you want to join in on our weekly discussions, our private Zoom calls, lock in with us in the Discord. You guys have direct access to an individual that can help you set up a metal node. You have direct access to a DeFi mentor that has survived one of the biggest liquidation events in crypto history and still managed to keep a rising equity curve. Like, it's so crazy and monumental what we have access to in the CyberX community. So lock in with us, but let's show you guys how simple and easy this is. So I'm going to go over to my Snipverse account and I'm just going to claim my rewards. So I personally created a separate WebAuth wallet to connect to my Snipverse account. So I'll have like some of my funds on this WebAuth wallet. It's connected to my Snipverse account, and then all my other bigger positions on a different wallet. So if we come over here and you go to the staking tab, you can come right down here and you can see that right now I have $4.18 available to claim in rewards. I pretty much claim my rewards every Friday. I pay myself every Friday, kind of like it's a job, right? Every single Friday. I mean, you could do it every day. You could claim your rewards, your 50 cents here, $1 there, but I like to just stack it every single week, compounding once per week. So here we are on a Friday. I'm going to claim these rewards. It's going to prepare my request, ask me to confirm it in my WebAuth wallet. That's what I'm doing right now on my mobile device. Give me a sec. All right, boom. So there, the rewards are claimed. You can see the amount went to 0. Another thing that I like as well is you can see right after I claim the rewards, watch the balance here very closely. It goes up in real time. So now that I've claimed my rewards, you can already see I'm starting to earn again, which is just insanity. That's coming from my staked position, and that's coming from any engagement that is happening right now on the back end of my Snipverse account. If people repost my snips, if they like it, they comment on it, for any amount of engagement you get, a like, a repost, a comment, you get 0.005 of a penny, right? So it's pretty cool, right? If you ask me. All right, so coming over here, right, that's the first part of the loop, is just claiming your Snipverse rewards. So imagine you start posting on Snipverse, you're making $4 a week, $4 a day, whatever it is that you're making. Well, you can come over here onto the MetalX platform, and you can come up here and you can go to the More tab, and you have these farming pools that you can participate in. Now, always understand the risk, understand the impermanent loss that you can have being inside farming pools or these wide range liquidity pools. there's always an inherent risk. But again, I'm just simply trying to show you guys how simple this is. So you want to start learning about it, doing it, running it with test amounts of money, small amounts of money. You can see here, I don't have large amounts of money running in this strategy in my DeFi portfolio because I'm more risk averse in my DeFi portfolio. A lot of my DeFi positions are just in staking and not farming pools and liquidity pools. So right now I have about $111 in this pool, and I have about $72 in the XPR USDC pool. Nothing monumental. Just here as an example on this particular wallet, showing you guys what's possible. So up here, you have the XPR Snips pool, and you're earning 37% APR on this. There's a total of $1 million staked in this pool, so it does meet our threshold and our requirement. In this community, we at least look for $500,000, $500,000 in TVL. So this does meet our threshold. And so you can see here in real time, I'm earning SNPs, and I want to enter into this position. So I claim my rewards. My SNPs are in my wallet. In order to enter into this pool, I need an equal amount of SNPs and I need an equal amount of XPR, right? So I just claimed $4 in SNPs coins. Let's go over to my wallet. So going over to the swap feature, I now need an equal amount of XPR, which I'm pretty sure I have. So in order to enter into this pool, I'm going to click my XPR position, see how much money I have in the balance. I have $3.46 in XPR available. And then down here in SNPs, I'm going to allow, I'm going to go to pools. I apologize. And I'm going to go to XPR. I'm going to click my max balance. And again, I need an equal amount in SNPs because I'm trying to enter into the XPR SNPs position. All right. So once I have both equal XPR and SNPs, I can just go in, add liquidity. Just again, going to confirm the transaction in my WebAuth wallet. Boom, successfully added liquidity. Then you're just going to go back to the farm tab. You're going to go back to the pool, and then you're going to update your stake. And you're just going to slide the bar all the way up to 100%, adding that liquidity into the farm. And you're just going to confirm, again, sign the request in your WebAuth wallet. You're going to see that my balance is going to go from $111 up to maybe like 115 or 16 bucks or 125, however much money I just added in, right? So you can see my balance has changed. So now I've added liquidity into the farming pool. And now the third part of the loop, after having added the liquidity to the farming pool, is to collect and harvest your SNP rewards that you're making from this pool and then go put them back into Snipverse into a stake position. So I'm going to come here. I'm just going to harvest these rewards from my farming pool. Authorize the transaction. Boom. Now you guys can't see this on the screen, but now I have the harvested rewards, which was about $1.10 worth of SNPs from this pool. It's now in my WebAuth wallet. And you can also see automatically, I'm again already starting to compound rewards. You can see that happening in real time, which is again, I feel like just awesome. You know, you could have like a separate monitor up, just constantly watching your rewards grow and compound over time, right? Imagine by the end of 2026, what a video like this is going to look like if I'm just doing this over the next year, right? Like crazy work here, crazy stuff. Just starting off with small amount. What are we going to say, Aqua?
The power of compounding, bro. Like so powerful. So powerful, especially with these type of APRs, man.
And I hope that me showing you guys with these small test amounts just shows you guys like just playing around with this technology. Like I don't care about 125 bucks or 72 bucks. Like it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose it type money. Like, nah, but just you can still play around with this tech, send transactions, test different things, play around with the tech. So that way, when you're ready, maybe you're waiting for the regulatory environment to change. Cool, great. When that happens, you already have the education. You're already prepared and ready to use these platforms at scale with larger amounts of money because you tested it out, right? That's what we encourage in the CyberX Well 28 Club. So now that I've claimed my SNP rewards, the last part of the loop that Kevin had mentioned here is to go in and put those harvested SNP rewards back into a stake position on SNPs. And so I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to go to the staking tab on SNPs. And you can see here my available SNP balance. I'm actually going to refresh that. Let's see if that changes. Okay, cool. So my available snip balance is $1.30, which is the rewards that I just claimed from my Snipverse farming pool. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this meter here to the max amount because I want to stake the full entire 6,641 snips. And you're going to choose your lockup period. So you can choose to lock it up for a month. You're going to get a 1x multiplier. And I personally choose to always do 12 months because I don't need this money now. So I'm just going to do the 12 months. You're going to get a 4x multiplier. And then down here, what I like is that you can actually see the time that you have remaining on your lockup periods. You can also see the amount of rewards that you're going to get here in this tab. So it's all transparent, shows you everything that you see. It also gives you your multiplier and it tells you how much APR you're earning on the position, how many days left until you can claim. And then once the lock unlocks, this little tiny lock right here unlocks and you can claim the rewards and the stake position right there, right? Which I think is just pretty cool. But anyways, back up here, I'm just going to lock back up that $1.29 that I just made from my farming pool. Hit continue, sign the request, authorize, and boom, we're done, right? So that's it. That was a loop, simple loop. And it's just constant buy pressure on your portfolio. Now, a lot of people will be like, oh my gosh, that's not a lot of money. Who cares? Blah, 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 blah. But imagine two people. Again, I always try to give you guys comparison. Imagine somebody who does this for 30 days and imagine somebody who doesn't. Who's going to have more money at the end of the 30-day period?
Great point, bro. Great point.
It's always going to be the person that compounds.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Always. Yo, look what just came in the mail too right now. I totally forgot I ordered it.
Beautiful.
That Metallica shirt that you guys were putting us on from the Snipverse too, right? Wasn't
Beautiful.
that shout out to Carlton? He was the one that
put you on the shirts. Yeah.
Yeah.
He pulled up to the meeting with all kinds of freaking Metallica's gear, dude. Every day he was wearing a different Metallica shirt.
That's lit.
But yeah, that's all that I have for today, right? As always, just trying to keep it real with you all. We showed you all that the window of opportunity to front run the financial institutions is closing. The financial institutions are in an educational phase. They are interested in DeFi opportunities and primitives to earn yield on their digital assets. We showed you that physical proof so that you know we're not capping here and just being like, hey, you should go do DeFi because we think you should. No, we think you should because the institutions are, and we follow what the smart money does, right? You know, just coming over here to the loan protocol, you got a whole entire community, the XRP army that talks bad about XPR, yet you have $23 million in XRP. So that means enough people that hold XRP worth $23 million, or just one whale that holds $23 million worth of XRP is over here on loan protocol and knows what's up.
Facts.
So, you know,
and
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you know, I seen some comments today in the comments. Who cares what these people look like? These people have titles, and those titles matter more than what they look like. All right. So that's why we're even sharing this stuff. So I just want to make that loud and clear. Doesn't matter what people look like. All right. So the titles is what
there's this one dude in crypto right now. I never seen somebody that looks crazier than David Schwartz. I'm pretty sure he's the CEO or he's the co-founder of Gauntlet. You ever seen that mother trucker, bro?
No.
Let me pull this guy up, but he looks crazy and he's one of the smartest people I've ever listened to. You know, it's so funny that people judge people off of people's looks. Like, look at freaking Albert Einstein. Dude never brushed his hair.
Yeah.
And was probably, you know, not probably, definitely was smarter than most people in a room that he walked into.
Absolutely.
You know, anyways, man, if you judge people by their appearance, then you're too miserable to look inside. And I mean, at the end of the day, there's no saving you at that point. So we're not even going to go down that rabbit hole. Self-improvement.
Yeah, facts.
Mature up, you know, like, come on.
Mature up, man.
Anyways, big ups to everybody locked in with us today. As always, just dropping real gems for you guys. Every Friday podcast, we bring the noise, we bring the heat, we bring the stuff that matters, we bring the real information that it's just sad to see people aren't tapped into. You know, all these podcasts that we share with you guys today, these panel discussions, they're all in the CyberX research section. All these documents, like this document from Signnum, there's freaking financial reports. There's reports from some organizations that you've never even heard of, moving in the shadows, that drop reports on crypto, Web3, and blockchain that you can find in our private CyberX community. So come lock in with us if you guys want real insights, you want real perspectives, you're tired of the whole narrative behind, oh, bullish moonboy price prediction. Like, that stuff's cool and all, I get it. It definitely drives hopium and it's great for engagement, don't get me wrong. But if you're tired at the end of every single month of being lied to or being misled to believe that something's going to happen in the market and it never comes into fruition, come lock in with us, because we don't deliver any of that inside the community. We keep people inside the loop of what's happening in real time with what's happening in the market that week, that day. And it just gives us such a better edge in the markets because we actually understand what's happening day to day and not these zoomed out theories that never materialize. Okay. So blessings to you guys. Aqua, that's all I got, bro. I appreciate your time as always. We killed it today, man.
Yeah, likewise. Appreciate you as well. Thank you. And you crushed it. So yeah, that breakdown of that looping strategy at the end there, I know some people were eating that up. They were like, yo, you gave a whole presentation right now.
You know, dude, telling you, go create a Snips account. You don't even have to be a content creator, dude. You could just freaking, every time you cook a meal, post the ingredients that you make and like make money on it, you know, like
Facts. Facts.
So much that we can do now in this new technological age. It's crazy stuff. But yeah, bro, blessings to you, and we'll see you guys next Friday.
All right. Peace.
Everybody take it easy.